you, buddy?
Good, Matt. What's going on? Just here at BillyJacks.
Hey, you're looking good, bud. I appreciate that. Is this the quarantine scruff? Is that what they call that?
I don't know what it is. I'm just trying to. I don't know. I really don't know what I can say about it. It's 47 and don't really care.
Yeah, that's good too. I appreciate it. Listen, thanks for stepping away from the grill for just a second to talk to me. I appreciate it.
Anytime.
Yeah, so Todd, I'm going to jump into it. I just wanted to ask you, one of the reasons why I'm making these videos is that because we're talking about a lot of supporting these local businesses, but I kind of wanted to put a name with a face in some of these local businesses and sort of get people to sort of connect with you on a multitude of levels. But tell me a little bit about your business and tell me what you do and what your typical services are and kind of what your business is all about.
Well, I mean, BillyJacks is a locally owned and operated craft beer bar, restaurant, casual restaurant in Lauderdale by the Sea on Commercial Boulevard. We've been here just shy of 2 years. May will be 2 years. And as an independent small business owner, I mean, my business was geared towards locals. I grew up here, generations in Fort Lauderdale area. It was something that I felt like this particular area needed. There was a niche that was open for this kind of a restaurant. And, locals are here all the time. The tourists
right.
aren't.
Yeah.
So this area needed something for locals.
I love it, dude. I've been there a number of times. It's such a great spot. It's such a great vibe. You feel great when you're going in there. The food is incredible. So, tell me, I'm going to jump right into the 3 questions real quick. One of the questions is how are you guys doing as a business?
Well, I mean, the first couple days of Corona, I guess if you call them days 1, 2, and say like 1 through 4, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, business was obviously not the same as we would be if we were in normal business circumstances. But I mean, it was enough that we could, by the end of the month, we would be able to, make rent, make some bills, pay some bills, do a few things here and there.
Great.
But I mean, it's definitely been a drastic change in business procedures as far as dealing with customers and dealing with just regular basis of the world.
Yeah. Yeah, Todd, that's one of my questions I was going to ask you. Tell me a little bit about how you guys are taking the right precautions and things like that to make sure that you're staying safe with your staff, as well as keeping your customers in a position where they're as safe as possible and doing all the precautions to do so.
Well, I mean, in the restaurant industry, if you aren't following just the basic essentials of keeping viruses at bay, washing your hands, keeping yourself clean, keeping everything else clean, you're not doing what you should be doing.
Sure.
I mean, there's hand soaps and there's sanitizers at like all of our like sinks, which is required by the Hotel and Restaurant Association. We're
right.
supposed to have antibacterial stuff throughout the restaurants, and keeping the places clean is that's just normal good restaurant practice.
Excellent. I love it, dude. And tell me, how's the family doing? How's that going? Is quarantine starting to go crazy a little bit? I
mean, for me, because I'm lucky that it is what's deemed an essential business. I'm not at home in cabin fever.
That works out great for you.
it works out pretty good for me, but wife on the other hand, yeah, it's getting tough. I mean, the kids are. Last week, one kid was on spring break. This week, the other kid's on spring break. So watching the kids work on school from home is definitely a change of pace. Right. Maybe that's a glimpse into the future.
Yeah.
The ideas of old one room schoolhouse are definitely gone. I think it's a different world now.
Yeah, definitely things have changed, no doubt about it. So tell me a little bit about how you plan to step up now to sort of support the community that you're in, and what are you going to do to sort of support your local community?
Well, I mean, our local community is, the area of Lauderdale by the Sea, like I said, it does have a fair amount of locals, as you know, growing up here, but it is fairly transient. Vacationers, snowbirds, et cetera, but there's still a lot of locals that live here or within the vicinity. So we're able to produce and provide food and drink for the locals, and not just Lauderdale by the Sea, but just over the bridge and Coral Ridge and Lighthouse Point, et cetera, et cetera. Pompano is not too far off. You know, we still have employees that we're employing. So we're taking care of them. You know, I've got a guy here every shift, which we're running 2 shifts as it is right now a day. Grubhub delivery dudes, Uber Eats, all of those guys, you know, they're doing their deliveries. So we're still keeping those guys on the streets, and they're picking up food, and they're running around. And if that guy's on the street having to make deliveries, he's got to get gas, he's got to have insurance, he's got to do all those things. So it is in some ways a very slow, I don't want to say trickle, but maybe drip down kind of economics as it may be. But, you know, we're able to support, you know, I mean, I've got La Spada's across the street. Those guys have been very supportive to us as we have been to them. You know, a lot of the other restaurants and that are in town, their employees, you know, they know that we do In the Biz specials on Tuesdays. They were taking care of that. You know, they were showing some support to us through that, being here on Tuesdays. We're still continuing all of our specials, you know, sliders on Monday, In the Biz on Tuesdays, Thursdays, which was yesterday, nugs. We're still doing the special on nugs not drugs. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you know, there used to be strong brunch days, but I don't foresee that being, you know, brunch is a communal thing. It's not really much of a lone wolf.
Sure.
So I don't really know how much that's going to work. But I mean, the community knows they can come here, they can get some food, they can get a craft beer, they can get a drink, they can get away from said wife, kids, etc., and take a little bit of a break and you know, get back to a little bit of normalcy in their life.
Sure.
I know Broward just invoked that stay at home, so you are allowed to go out and exercise. And if your exercise happens to bring you by BillyJacks for you know, a craft beer and
so be it.
Then you're good. You're doing both. You're exercising and getting some food in yourself.
That's awesome. Hey, Todd, you know, I know a lot of restaurants have sort of shut their doors a little bit right now, and I can absolutely appreciate you kind of doing everything you can to keep people employed and keep people paid and doing the things that you can do to support the community. Tell me, what can the community do right now to support you? And tell me, how can the community support you when we get the all clear?
Well, I mean, just as in restaurants, most people work on an hourly or salary kind of payment plan.
Sure.
Servers, bartenders, bussers, food runners, their income a lot of times is really based on sales and what they're doing. So if you have a restaurant that is not working, you have however many servers and bartenders that aren't really able to provide for their families. And again, we talked about trickle down, you know, it just affects everything. So if a bartender server isn't able to go and make a few bucks on a daily basis, their rent doesn't get paid. What happens to that landlord? Does he now have a payment that he has to make to a bank? So it does trickle down or trickle up, however you want to say it. So to me, it's really, you know, and the big, for many years, and I don't understand why, but support local has been a craft beer mentality and has been a small restaurant mentality for a long time. I grew up here, and I don't like to, personally, I just don't like to eat at chain restaurants. I've been in the business for the better part of since you and I grew up 20, 30 years ago. And I always supported and was always more supportive of the local guy. It's so much harder as an independent restaurant. And yes, this is a franchise, but I own it out. I don't get any help from the franchise. It's not like I'm the Golden Arches or whoever, where there's massive marketing and what dollars behind it. No, I'm an independent guy, independent worker. You know, so to have those independent guys, small business, too small to fail kind of mentality. Too small to fail because if it comes down to it, you know, I can just be here by myself working.
Sure.
You know, and it takes everything down to its lowest common denominator.
Right, but you've
chosen
not to do that.
Answering your question, getting back to how do you support, I mean, it's small businesses that are what started this whole thing around, and the small businesses build a great base to what the community needs.
Right.
You know, if you need, as I'm looking around here, you need your newspaper. There's the city newsstand across the street. There's a bank across the street. There's, all kinds of stuff that these are small businesses that rely on the community to keep them going.
Yeah.
And so some of these aren't essentials right now, but
you need the community to come back out when it's all clear. You need them to come out and come out strong. And I have a really good feeling, Todd, that when this is all over with and people are ready to get back out there, you're not going to be able to find a spot at that bar that you're sitting at right now. So
I think once it's done, people will kind of spread their wings and start to broaden their horizons a little bit.
Right. Well, listen, Todd, I know I'm hoping you guys are going to continue to get busy this weekend, and we're here to support you in any way we can. Thanks for taking the time, dude. I know it takes time to sit with me and stuff like that, so I really appreciate it. And let's keep in touch, and good luck with the family, and good luck with the business, and we'll keep supporting you.
Sounds good, man. I appreciate it, Matt. Thanks for the help. Same thing. You guys stay strong and stay safe, and we'll see you on the backside.
Great. See you soon, Todd.
Sounds good. Thanks, Matt.
Bye-bye.
Bye.